Hey guys, welcome to the fifth part of this Django tutorial series. Today we're going to do some refactoring on the project. So, since the last time I recorded, I've added a few new tasks here. So for this refactoring part, I'm going to install Tailwind instead of using it as a CDN. I'm going to add namespaces to all of the different apps, and then I'm going to replace the whole Leads app with class-based views instead of function-based views. So let's begin with the first one, which is installing Tailwind. So in base.html, the way we include Tailwind CSS is this way now, and this is not suitable for production, so I just want to fix it before I forget about it. So to do this, I can go to installation page on the tailwindcss.com, and then here is a very simple way to do this. So first we can just install Tailwind CSS. So just let's copy this command, go to the command line, stop the web server, paste and hit enter. And then this will install Tailwind and a few dependencies that Tailwind has. Great. And then we initialize this. This is probably just a new file. Yes, Tailwind config. Okay, so now we need to configure the template paths. This is for the Django templates. So if I just go to Visual Studio Code to find this file that was generated, then it should be located there, Tailwind config. And then in here we can add for the different folders or the different apps. So if I here, for example, I think I can say client/templates/client, and then copy this, slash. I don't think I need JS because we only have HTML files, so then I probably can do it this way. And then I can do this for the different apps. So it's for the core app as well, and the dashboard, and the lead, and the theme, and the user profile. And then we can save. So let's go back and watch the next step. So add the Tailwind directives to your CSS. So I need to create a new file. So let me copy this, go back to Visual Studio Code, and then in the root folder I can create a new folder called static, and in there just main.css, and save this, and save. So now we have that. So then start the Tailwind CLI build process. So then you can see here that I take this input file, which is the one we just created, and that should generate this file. So let me copy the beginning of this command, paste, then ./static main.css, and then this should generate ./static main.min.css. Sorry, forgot to add the -o for output. And then just double dash watch. So it will keep running in the background if that's something we wanted. So let me go back here now. Then you can see in min CSS, you can see that we got a new file. I guess that if I scroll down, I will begin to find the different things that I have used in my template. Yes, for example, rounded-xl, but here are no other rounded. The BG teal is used, the BG red, and similar. So the next step now is to include this file in the base.html instead of the CDN. So now that you know where it's located, we don't want to have it as a script. Link rel style sheet, and then href, whoops, and then in here we just say static, and then main.min.css, and then Django will find this folder file for us in the static folder. And for this directive, or whatever you want to call this, to work, you need to load static first. So load static. So then I think everything should be okay. So if I run the server now, go to Chrome, refresh. Okay, the styling didn't load. Couldn't find this file. Just want to show static main min CSS. Okay, why didn't that work? Main min CSS. So the folder is there and the file is there. So maybe something in here. Yes, I think I need to set up my static root. So let me just open this URL in Chrome. Static URL, but I need to specify the static files theirs. So let me just copy this and paste it below here. So now it's based there, which is the root folder for this project, and then static is appended. So if I now go back, refresh, then you can see that it was loaded here now, and if I refresh here now, it's loaded there as well. Nice. So now we have Tailwind CSS, and it's not a CDN, so this is much better for production, because now only the fields, only the classes we use will be included in the main min CSS. Nice. So that's step number 1. So that means that I can go to the to-do list and set this task to done. Next step then is to add namespaces to all of the apps. For example, if I go into client and URLs, then I know currently I refer to all of the URLs as clients underscore list. But what I want to do now is to appear just a app underscore name is clients. And then I can refer to, for example, this page by saying clients list. But it's much easier or cleaner to just say clients : list. So let me rename this to just list. And then let me see if I can find where I have used the client list in the project. So for example, in the redirect here, I can say clients : list. And that goes to everywhere that I have this. Clients list. So not these two, but there was one more redirect. And the same in clients detail.html. Here I should just say clients : list. And here clients : list. So now the only places this is used is in the name here and also in where we define this. So if I save now, go back and refresh, it should still be possible to click here. But now I get a no reverse match because this isn't found. So I need to do this for all of the views in clients here. So this should just be detail, this should just be delete, this should just be edit, and this should just be add. So if I now start to go through where I have used this, I can just do this very quickly. Save. So if I open up the other, templates, clients add, let me see if I have done this other places, clients list, clients : detail, clients : add. So if I save now and refresh, this is now working. Let me see in there if here is any redirect, fixed. Okay, all of the redirects there are fixed. So now the namespace for the clients app should be working. Can try to add. Okay, I can't add because I haven't got the permissions to do this. But if I just change this plan a little bit, so I can do some testing, then I can add a new client. Yes, this was now working as well. Nice. Okay, so now I want to do this for all of the other apps as well, so that I know that it's the same on all of them. So let me just close and then open up dashboard, URLs, and then app name is dashboard. And then this should actually just be named index. So it's dashboard:index. And then the same in the lead, URLs, app name is leads. Then it can be replaced down here. It doesn't need to have this anymore. Save. Let me see if I use this somewhere. Leads:list. And this doesn't really matter for this type of app since it's currently very small. But when your project grows and grows, this becomes increasingly important to do. So having namespaces is a very smart thing to have. So here I think I need to replace a few of these. Yes, leads list. Okay, leads, add lead, and leads:detail. So then this should be ready. This, team. App name is team. Oops, team. So then this can just be edit. Doesn't have to be edit team. Redirect. This should be redirect to user profile because I'm going to rename that as well. So that means everything there is okay. And in user profile, here isn't any URLs, so I probably need to create that file, urls.py. Maybe I can just say app name, user profile. Actually, I'm not quite sure what to do now since there isn't already URLs, but I'm going to include it and see if it's working. And here was no redirect. Okay, so let me just open up base. So dashboard:index. This should be leads:list, user profile:my account, user profile:login, user profile:sign up. Actually, these are just in the core app, and that doesn't have a namespace yet. Okay, so the last place to do anything now is to go to the main URLs file. And then we can say dashboard, my account. Okay, so path, I think I can say dashboard/include user profile.urls. So then it will just try this file. So let me copy this. Don't remove the my account, go back to URLs here. Now we can import path from Django. So from Django.urls import path, and from, sorry, this should be up here, from .import views. And then we create the URL patterns, create an empty list, and then in here just paste this. And then the dashboard was already added in the main URLs, so this should just be my account, and then views.myaccount and my account, and save. So that means that I also can move the sign up view in there. So let me remove it from there, like that, and remove it from there, and save. And then into URLs here, then I can say path sign up uses views.signup. So this was maybe a little bit overload to take in a similar, but I hope you was able to follow along. So now that this is done, then I get a no reverse match there for team. So I need to open up that template to make sure it's working. Here should just be team:edit and save. And in the base.html, this should be user profile :sign up. So if I refresh now, then I'm sent there. So that's working. The leads is working. The dashboard is not working. Leads detail. So let me open up dashboard. So it's this leads : detail and clients : detail. So now everything here should be working. No, one more. This is in the leads detail. Leads detail there. Okay, forgot to add a colon on these two. Okay, that's working. Let me just go into the detail of client, and that is working as well. Nice. So now everything here seems to be working. So now we have namespaces in our project, which is a very good thing to have, especially when your project is growing and growing. Then it's easier to separate apps from each other without using client_edit and similar, which I did in the previous parts. So then I can set this to done. Before I continue, I just want to say thanks to all of my patrons. If you too want to support me, you will find a link in the description below. Next up then is to start working with the leads and converting this to a class-based view. So in views.py in the lead, currently we have this leads list, but it's possible to convert this to class-based views. So Django has class-based views and function-based views. This is a function-based view, but you also have the possibility to use something called class-based views. And those can look a little bit simpler. For example here, this is for a simple about view. So just specify the template name. So you don't have this typical def where you set the name for the view and then return render and similar. Django will fix this for us. So it's optional to use class-based views. If you like function-based views, you can stick to them. If you like class-based views, you can stick to them. Class-based views, a lot of things happens in the background and they can look a little bit magic or whatever you want to call it. So it can be a little bit harder for beginners to understand what's happening, but I will try to explain as good as I can. So let me begin by converting this to a class-based view. And then Django has a few generic views. For example, this template view just accepts a template view. And you have different, for example here, list view. This will set a list of leads, for example, which we have here, which is probably the one we are going to use. But you also have other types of views you can use. For example, you can use the built-in, just the view where you set up the def get. And then in here you could have a def post as well and similar. But it's a little bit much information right now, so let's just try to begin converting it and see where we get. So I want to use a list-based view. So let me copy this import and paste it here. From django.views.generic import list view. And then I can create the list by saying class lead list view. And here we just pass in list view, which we just imported up there. And then I specify which model to get this from. So model equals lead. Right now that's actually everything we need. So let's try to use this. Before we start adding login required and where we get the information from, we can just use this. So if I then open up lead URLs, then we can try to use it here instead. So instead of saying views.leads list, we want to use this now instead. So then I just need to find the URLs example here. So we just say views.leadListView.asView. So then we use this function here. So if I save now, go back to Chrome, go into the project and into leads, then you will see that I get the template does not exist, because now Django automatically wants us to call the template lead list.html. So we can try to rename it, or we can specify the template name up here. But let's try to just use Django's best practice. So instead of saying leads list, we can call this lead list. Save it, go back and refresh, and then we're here again. So leads, there are no leads in the database yet. That is a little bit weird because we have leads. The only problem now is that the object we get from the backend isn't called leads anymore. So right now I'm not sure what they are called. Yes, you can see here, for example, for publisher in object list. So Django automatically calls this for an object list. So if I open up lead list and replace for lead with for lead in object list, and the same up here, I need to check if there are leads in the query. So if I save now, go back and refresh, you can now see that we have the leads back again. The problem now is that we get the leads from the whole database. So if there are multiple users, we will get their leads as well, and that is not good. So we need to override this by using the def head. To, for example, down here you can see that we specify that we want to get the latest and similar. So let me go back here into the view, def head, then we specify the args and k-args, and then here you can see that we get it like this. I think here I can just return HTTP response. Okay, maybe this isn't the right way. List view. Just need to check if this is the correct way to do it. So I need to go back here, get context data. Okay, here you can see the query set, so I can override the query set itself without using this function. So I can just say query set equals lead.objects.filter created by equals request.user, and also converted to client is false. But now you can see here that we get an error because request is not defined. And I think I can just say self.request. No, self is not defined. Okay, let me just try to Google this. Django list view. Django list view query set request. So let me see how to override and get this correct thing. Request. Okay. Request user. How to get you logged in user in a get query set. Okay. Okay, I actually need to override it like this. So we need to create this function. So I can't use this anyways. Def get query set. And then I use this. So I just replace the lead list view like that. And then query set equals query set dot filter, and then we pass, copy and paste in these two, and then self.request.user, and then I can say return query set and save. So if I now go back and refresh, I only get these two, which belongs to me, and where the converted to client is set to false. So now we have the first view converted to a list view. The only thing missing now is this login required. Right now, a user could access this page without being logged in. So how to fix that? Django class-based view decorators. So let me open up this and see if it's here. Login required. Yes, but I don't want it in the URLs. Here you can see how we can do this. So let me copy this. Okay, it's actually the same decorator. And then I can just say @method decorator. And then copy this whole function. I also need to import the method decorator. Okay, so now everything there should be okay. Let me just try refresh. Everything is now working. Right, great. So now I can remove this and save. So now we have a list-based view to show all of the leads. You can also fix this a little bit better and say return up there, like that, so we don't have extra line, and save. So if I now refresh, it's still the same. Nice. So now I can set this to done. Next step then is to replace the leads detail page with a class-based view. So now instead of using a list view, we are going to use a detail view. So class lead detail view, and then the model we're going to use here should be lead, of course. So let me just go back here and find the detail view. It's not there. Detail view, no. Detail view. Okay, here we have it. So as you can see here, we specify how to get this object from the server. First we use the query set to get all of the authors. Don't think I have to do anything there. Performing extra work. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Okay, maybe this is the only way. So let me copy this, the def get object, and then object, super get object. So this is built in Django functionality. And then I think, now we want to override the query set and not do anything with that. So let me Google this, Django detail view query set. See how to do that. Okay, so I can use the def get query set, just like we did up here, and then return query set. Oops. Okay, let me just get the query set like that, like we did here. Return query set dot filter. And then we can filter it like we do here. Created by equals self dot request dot user, and the primary key I think needs to be set like this. So primary key equals self dot kwargs dot get, and then lead ID, or I think it's called PK from the URLs. So let me see if I can now use this, the lead detail view. That's this one, views dot lead detail view dot as view, and save. So then we can go back and refresh here, go into detail page. Object must be an instance or subtype of type. Okay, blah blah blah. This should be a lead detail view and not a list view, of course. Refresh, and now it wants us to use the file called leaddetail.html. So let's rename that. Lead detail, hit enter, refresh, and now you can see it there. Nice. So that means that this is now working. Let me just copy these lines so that the decorator is working here as well. And then we can remove this and save. So now let me just try. Yes, now we have two list views, class-based views. So now I want to do the same thing for the other leads pages as well, but I can set this to done. And then it's the detail, the delete view. I think there is also a specified for this one, delete view. No, maybe not. Django delete view. Geeks for geeks. Okay, let me see what they can tell me. Okay, so here you can see the delete view. It's imported from views.generic.edit. And then if I here go scroll up, import it together with these two. And then class lead delete view, pass in delete view. And then you can see here that it wants us to specify the model to use. Model equals delete view. And then the success URL where we are redirected after we have deleted this object. And we want to be redirected back to leads list. So success URL equals leads : list. I hope I can specify it like this. And the template name, we don't have a template name, so that's not going to be used. So this expects a primary key, that's good, but we want the login decorator here. So copy and paste, and we also need to use this query set here because we need the lead to be created by yourself and not someone else. So here I think I can just say lead delete view and save. So now I think this should be okay. Let me use it here. So views.lead delete view.as view and save. Go to the browser, refresh. Let me try to delete this. Delete view has no attribute default manager. Okay, lead delete view. Lead delete view. Sorry, this was not supposed to be lead. It's supposed to be lead, of course. So let me just go back and refresh. Try to delete again. And now this wanted me to be sent to a confirm delete page. Maybe I just want to check if I can skip this because I don't want to have a confirmation page. Django delete view, skip confirmation. Django delete view without. Okay, so I can actually make this just automatically post this for me. So you should be careful with this as it says here, but it's okay since I now have the control. So the def get gets the information and then automatically just posts it here. So save now, go back and go back here, refresh, delete. didn't work. Lead confirm delete. Okay, so it needs to be a post request to that page. That's why it didn't work, but this can just be like it is. And then let me copy this, because this should be the new delete button. So let me go back to lead list. There are no delete button there, but in lead detail. And then we paste this here. The form can just be up here. So as you can see here, we rename this to lead delete form. This is just an invisible form. Copy and paste it down there. The method is post and the URL should be this. Like that. And then we have this button, and when we click it, we want to submit this form, which we can't see happening. So just copy this line, paste it there, remove this. So when we now click the delete button here, we actually just submit this form. So let me see if this is working now. Go back, refresh, delete. That did not work. What if I set this to be empty? Save, refresh, delete. Disallowed redirect. Okay, I can't redirect to this page because unsafe redirect. And that's because that this isn't actually a URL, so I need to find out how I can reverse this. So Django reverse URL. So reverse, so just import this, go to the top. Okay, this should be there, Django.urls import reverse, and then this takes the name that we have here. So if I now scroll down again, use this here, then it should be working. But now I think that this was, oops, what's happening? Just restart the URL. So there is something wrong. I don't think the error is here, but just want to remove this and see what's happening. Okay, that was actually working. Django.urls and then reverse. So when I use this, it crashes. Leads list, why? Reverse. I thought this was supposed to be working. Leads : list. So it's a correct URL. Okay, I have to Google and see if this is something weird. Django delete view success URL reverse. Let me see if there are any examples. Reverse lazy. Maybe I have to use that instead. Just want to see what this is. Reverse lazy. Yes, before this is loaded. Okay, so I need to just use this instead. So let me see, now the error is gone, nice. So let's go back here into leads. Now I only have one lead, so let's want to add one. So I can try to delete, go into test, delete, and now this was working. Nice. So that means that I now can scroll down and remove this. And like that. So now everything there is working. So now I have the to-do list. I can set this to done. And then the next step is to fix the leads edit page. So this is a little bit different because here we have a add page. I have a post request and also a get request. So let me try to Google this. Django edit view. I don't think there is an edit view for this, but you have the update view. So how do we use this? Let's see if there are any examples. Update view, blah, blah, blah. Okay, first we can import this at least. So import the update view. And then class lead update view. Pass in update view. Model is lead, of course. And we need to import this because we need the decorator. And I want to override the query set so we get it based on the authenticated user. So now this can be like it is. Let me go to the URLs and use it here. Lead add update view. Oops. .s view and save. So then we can go back here, go into a lead, edit. Must be an instance or subtype, of course, because I forgot to update this name down there. Refresh, improperly configured. Okay, the fields is not prohibited. Okay, so I need to specify which fields to use, as you can see here. That's okay. But it would be cool if I could just use the form. So let me try Django, update view, use form. Fields. Okay, there were no examples there. Your form needs to inherit, not the form class. Yes, that's okay, because I can just open up the forms.py in the lead. Then you can see which fields I use here. Copy these and paste them here. Fields equals, create a tuple like that. Save, go back and refresh. And then I get the template does not exist. So I need to rename that as well to lead form. Lead form.html and update, and then I see the edit here. Edited, submit. Okay, I probably didn't specify a URL to be redirected to. So just wanted to see what that is supposed to look like. Get success URL. Django update view success URL. So I need to specify it here, it looks like. So then I scroll down here, def get success URL, return, and then I just use the reverse lazy lead list, save, Go back and refresh. Continue, and now this was edited. Nice. So now we can edit as well. That means that I can remove this view here also. Then it's just these two left to fix. So let's fix the add lead. Here we see that we need to do some changes, because here we need to override that when we save, because we need to specify the created by and the team. So let's just close a few of these. Here I want to find the create view. Blah, 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 blah. Create view, model, specify which fields to use. Okay, so let me import the create view first. Scroll down. No, I don't need the login required, but the class lead create view, pass in create view. Model is lead. And then the fields can be copied, and I can copy this, paste it. So now I want to use these fields, and I want to use the login decorator. Nice. And the success URL can also probably just be copied. So save, and then I can go back to the URLs to use it down there. Lead create view.as view, and save. Go back and refresh, add lead. So now this says edit lead. So they are using the same template, so that needs to be fixed, or they can use the same template, but I need to use two different titles at least. So new client, submit. So now I get this error that the created by is not set, and that is what we are fixing down here. So I need to find out how I can fix it up here. So I need to find out how we can specify this. Django create view override post. How to perform action on save. Great. So here you can actually see this. Let me just copy this. Then paste it here. So when the form is valid, as you can see, it says self.object is form.save. So now we can just say commit equals false, just like we do down there. Self.created by equals request.user. Then we need to get the team from the database. Self.request, remember to use that, of course. And self.team equals, self.object, because self.object is the new lead. And self.object.team equals team, self.object.save. So now the new lead should be created, and then we can just redirect the user to the front page of all of the leads. So remove these two and save. So let me go back now. Just refresh, new client, blah, blah, blah. Just add some information, submit. And now you can see the new client there. Nice. So now we have the create view as well. So just remove this and save. And the problem now was that before I remove this, you can see here that we specify the team which you are using in the template to check if the team can create new leads or not. So we need a way to send this to the front end. So we probably need to override one of these functions. Not sure which. So let me see. Django create view, add extra data, for example, or similar. Context data. That is probably correct. So the success URL, like that, looks a little bit better than what I have done here. Let me just say success URL, oops, equals reverse lazy. So that looks better. And this could probably just be done up here as well. Okay, that looks a little bit better. But now I need to fix this. So how can I add more information? Query set, this just adds the user as usual. But here we have the context data. So let's use that. So below here, def get context data. Then we get the context, which is currently just the lead. And then we get the team from the database, like that. And then we want to add the team to the context. Equals. And then we say team here. And then just return context. So if I save now, go back here. Into add lead, nothing happens because we are still using the edit, the lead form template, which was changed. But if I now, for example, here want to say context title add lead, then we can go into the lead form template, and instead of saying edit there, we can just say now title, and the same up here. Title and save. So if I now refresh, this says add lead, but if I go to leads and into edit one of these, the title is gone. So we need to add this for the edit as well, or the update, of course. So here we can say edit lead, but you don't need to get the team here, just like that. So if I now refresh, it says edit lead and edit lead. Nice. Okay, so if I now go back here again and into the create, we have the team and we have the title, but we just need to move a little bit from this add lead template. We need to copy this and go back to the lead form, because we need to make it not possible to create more leads if you have exceeded your plan. So we can now remove this, and then we want to replace this with .count. Thank you to the subscriber who pointed this out, and save. But the problem now is that if you're going to edit mode and you have reached the maximum, you should still be able to do this. So or title equals edit lead, I think. So if one of these is correct, then we show the form. So let's go back and refresh. Team leads.all. No, sorry. Count, maybe. Yes, that's correct. So if I now go to add, we still see the title, and the information should be here that you have exceeded your plan if you have done so. So now I can just close that template, and I can actually just remove this template. Oops. Delete. Move to trash. And then in views, I can remove the add lead like that. So we now have a simple create, read, update, and delete converted to class-based views instead of the default or typical function-based views. So many people think that this is a little bit cleaner. I can remove this as well, but it's up to you what you want to use. Maybe I should continue converting the whole project to class-based views because they look kind of good. It would just be good if I could skip these for every part and this as well. There are probably a way to do that, but that's for a different part. So right now I just need to fix the last to do here, which is the replace the convert to a class-based view. So let me set this to done, because now I fixed edit. This is done, and give it a better name. That was automatically done because we changed it to lead create instead of the add lead. So that means that I can say here add instead of add lead, and the lead list can go to add like that. So now things looks a little bit better. So the point of refactoring like this is that it's easier to build a project, but it's not always easier to think about the structure and similar. So when you do refactoring in the process of building a project, you can remove unused code, and you can remove, you can fix code to be better and similar. And that is exactly what we are doing now. Then the last step now is to fix this one. So this is a convert to client. So this is an update and create view. It's a little bit hard to know what to use here. But I think we actually have to go with one of the other types of class-based view. This to be exact. So here, for example, you can see how we could just import the form instead of specifying the fields, which I did, but I can fix that at a later point. Right now, I just want to create a new view. So from Django.views, import view, scroll down again, and then class convert to client view, pass in the view like that. And here I don't specify a model because this isn't model dependent, but I want to have this, the def post. So when you post to this, I want to get the lead from the database based on the primary key, and the primary key can be pulled by just saying the self.kwargs. This is information from the URL. Like that. Okay, I think actually this is a get request and not a post request, but anyways, this is how you do it. pk equals self.kwargs.get primary key, and then I get the theme because we need this. Then I need to use self.request.user, no, I don't need to use self because it's already in the function there. Nice. Yes, so that means that now I can create the client like that, and I can set the lead to be converted like that. And when that is done, I just want to redirect me back to the leads list. And I can also add the message here that we say now to the user that the lead was converted to a client. Okay, so that was quite simple actually. We just used a very basic view from Django, override the get request method. Then we get the primary key from the URL, we get the lead, then the theme, then we create the client, set the lead to be converted and save, and then redirect the user. So then here, just want to remove add from add lead and remove it to add. And then this should be convert client to view.as view and save. So now I think everything should be working. Let me go into this, convert to client. The lead was converted to client, and now it's in the list there. Nice. So now I can set the last task to done and set this to done and save. Okay, so I have a few more things that I want to add to the to-do list for the next parts of this series. So I want to make it possible to download information about the leads and the client. So, or export information, leads, clients, etc. And I want to make it possible to communicate in some way, communicate with each other. And I want to make it possible to add comments, and similar to leads and clients, and also upload files to leads and clients. and maybe even more, but that's at least the way we're going to continue this series. I'm probably also going to implement emails in somehow that you get information when you create a new lead or someone on your team create a new lead and similar. But that's for another part. If you have any questions about today's code, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer as soon as I can. See you in the next part.